Welcome to the PI Podcast, your destination for everything NFL, discussing the latest news and providing in-depth analysis of every NFL game. And now, here are your hosts, Ian and Tesh.
What is up, guys? It's the PI Podcast, episode
21.
And
we got a big episode for you guys. Last time we talked about some interesting games that could be on the NFL schedule, and today we did get the NFL schedule Thursday night. So we're going to be going over the best primetime games, the best games in general that we think are going to be really fun to watch and really interesting to watch.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the NFL schedule, obviously. I got bad news. I just closed out of the thing I had open.
So we're going to start off with an interesting game that I think is going to happen. I have it up here. The Indianapolis Colts, Week 13, Sunday, December 4th at 8:20 p.m. Eastern on NBC, Sunday Night Football. The Indianapolis Colts play the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. I think that's going to be a huge game because in December it's always playoff football time, and we'll see what the Colts record is in December. And it's going to be a big game for them to see if they can keep up with the class of the NFC, and always going against Cowboys. Going against Cowboys anytime is always rough because Dallas Cowboys, they usually have a good team like last year. I expect them to have just as good a team this year. So that's going to be a really, really interesting matchup. See John Taylor run all over that Dallas defense possibly, or even Dak Prescott taking over, or even Matt Ryan shredding the defense. It's going to be fun to watch.
That's going to be a good game because, like you said, both these teams should be playoff teams, and it's going to be a really tough matchup. Both teams are going to be proving that they can win tough games on primetime television. Indianapolis at Dallas Cowboys is going to be a huge game.
Yeah, I'm just so excited for all these Sunday night games. A lot of the primetime games that we see on the schedule, they're really good games. It's not like how Thursday Night Football every year goes. They're just division games and teams that don't have good records. This year, they upped it for Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football. It's going to be a whole lot of very, very good games, even in division as well. And I'm just so excited for it.
I don't know if you're listening to have this, but I'm excited for the Broncos playing the Seahawks Week 1 Monday Night Football. That's going to be an awesome game to watch.
It's going to be super fun to see Russell Wilson's homecoming, and in the first week of the season. I mean, not often you get a player that means so much to a franchise played their team that gave them up in the first week of the season on Sunday night too, or Monday night, one or the other.
Yeah, primetime game regardless. Obviously, the Broncos should demolish the Seahawks. I mean, we're being realistic here. I know there's a lot of Seahawks fans out there, but you lost your franchise guy. It's an obvious rebuild. And you're going in with Drew Lock, who Pete Carroll talks very highly of, but he hasn't proved himself. It's regardless. It's even if you had a rookie out there or if you have Drew Lock, it would be a guy trying to prove himself in the NFL. So hopefully Drew Lock can keep the game close. But it's also a complete rebuild of the team. They lost Bobby Wagner. So, I mean, I look to see the Broncos start off hot.
Yeah, I fully expect the Seahawks, like Ian said, off the hot start, go 14-0 lead and drive to back. I don't see a rebuilding team in Seattle to keep up with Denver, and they're just potent offense. They're really good defense as well. I just don't see them matching up very well, especially in the first week of the season. And you don't know nothing about how to play with Russell Wilson. You're just going into it blindfolded, basically.
Russell Wilson's getting a fresh start. It's going to be awesome to watch. And then I have one more week 1 game. I don't know if yours is a week 1, but the Bills at Rams. That's gonna be an offensive explosion for both teams.
I'm so excited for that game. I remember you texting me. You're like, I thought I wanted it to be Bills and Chiefs, but we are getting that game later in the season. But the Bills versus the Super Bowl defending champs. It could have been the Super Bowl last year if that game they didn't lose with 13 seconds left. Yeah, could have been the Super Bowl. But it's just awesome to see. Could this even be a Super Bowl preview?
Could be.
Bills and Rams going to the Super Bowl this year. I would love to see that.
Both teams have good defenses. Both teams have awesome offenses.
They added to their defense?
Yeah, both teams added to their defense. It's going to be, man.
I'm interested to see Stephon Diggs versus Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be an interesting matchup, but I'm also very curious to see Josh Allen versus Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Matt Stafford makes some mistakes sometimes, but, there's no denying how good he's been on the Rams. He's got a super good relationship with Cooper Kupp. It's going to be a good matchup regardless. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I think both defenses are really good. So, there's a chance it's not a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I think there may be... I don't think they're going to get 30 points each. I think maybe it's going to be like a 24-21-ish game. Yeah. But yeah, very interesting matchup. Very, very cool matchup. Another one I have is near the end of the season in Week 16. This one is not as... It's a little underrated. The Las Vegas Raiders on December 24th on Saturday night on NFL Network. The Raiders play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're going to see the Steelers' record, what they're looking like near the end of the season. And if they put Kenny Pickett in.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be just cool to see if the Raiders and the Steelers, if they put Kenny Pickett in, or if Mitch Trubisky's playing hot.
Yeah, it depends. If they're a playoff team, probably sticking with whoever's been starting. But if they're not a playoff team, you got to give Kenny Pickett some chances to show out a little bit. And then Mike Tomlin going against who did the Raiders pick up? Didn't they get O'Brien?
Devontae Adams?
No, the head coach. Josh McDaniels. Sorry.
Josh McDaniels. Offensive mastermind.
Yeah, so the Raiders are going to be good this year, man. I'm telling you. They just picked up a key weapon for Derek Carr, and they have one of the best offensive coordinators in football as a head coach.
Hey, that whole division is looking really, really good. It's hard to rank.
Speaking of that division and offensive explosions, Week 2, Chargers versus the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
I was looking at your schedule and I saw that game. I was like, holy crap.
You get to watch it twice.
Yeah, and we're both primetime games, I believe. And it's Justin Herbert in Arrowhead. Fun fact, Justin Herbert has never lost in Arrowhead. So it's going to be really, really fun. See that improved with all their improvements they made this season. The defense, and it's improved at all the Kansas City Chiefs. Or there's going to be an offensive explosion right here. Because Justin Herbert, their offense didn't get any worse. They kind of got a little better, and their defense got way better with J.T. Jackson and Khalil Mack as well. Wow. Patrick Mahomes better hope he's not running for his life.
Then you got Week 7, Browns at Ravens. And by Week 7, I think Deshaun Watson's 100% going to be playing if he gets suspended. I don't think he's going to get suspended. I personally don't.
I don't think he's going to get suspended at all.
But you're going to have the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. Granted, I don't know who they're throwing the ball to, but regardless, you still got the Browns with Deshaun Watson. I personally think he's kind of overpaid because he hasn't played in the whole year. It's a risk, but you're gonna see the risk play. Week 7, Browns versus Ravens, and the Ravens defense is looking solid. So
yeah, it's gonna as almost the midpoint of the season, and we're gonna really see where those teams are headed at. Those schedules do look rough for the Ravens, more than the Browns, though. But it's still a divisional matchup, Sean Watson versus Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and they're going to be healthy this year. Last year, the Ravens weren't healthy. They barely missed the playoffs. Tyler Huntley did a very good job keeping them in games, but they lost J.K. Dobbins. They lost half their running back room in the preseason due to ACL injuries. So I really think the Ravens are going to get back in shape, and I think that's going to be a really good matchup.
Yeah, I think also with that injury, being a healthy Ravens team, I think they're just going to be hard to stop, especially if they can get their run game going like they do every year, and that run-led offense. Another interesting thing to see is if they add a receiver by then to kind of replace Marquise Brown, because that's such a big loss for them. That was their deep threat.
I personally would like to see Odell.
Ooh.
Now that Jarvis Landry's off the block, I would love to see Odell get a team before he's healthy. I would like to see a team be like, you know what, Odell's done his thing, and he's obviously going to make a team better. I personally wasn't a big fan of Odell before the season. I thought the tantrums and stuff, but obviously when he went to the Rams, he kind of showed that it wasn't his fault. He was struggling on the Browns. Like, he proved all the haters wrong. He went out there, tore his ACL trying to compete in the Super Bowl. Went ahead and got a touchdown before he tore it. Hope that Rams team deep in the season. I would love to see a team say, you know what, Odell, I know you're not going to be back till playoff time, maybe week 13, 14, but we're going to go ahead and pay you, get you on the team. I would love to see that.
Yeah, and talking about early season games, in week 4 on Sunday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that game, it has just everything in the making right there. Patrick Mahomes was Tom Brady. The two presumed GOATs, or the one presumed GOAT, and an upcoming rising star in Patrick Mahomes, who's already considered a star. And going a little off topic, a lot of people say Patrick Mahomes already the best quarterback in the league. I don't see it. No. I mean, he's really, really talented. He's so talented. It's not even crazy. It's not even funny. But I don't see him being the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I mean, he is insanely good, insanely talented, and he knows how to pick apart defenses.
Who was the best then?
I think right now it's either gotta be. I need to go back to my list.
I know, just like right now.
Right now.
Because there's times I look at.
I might have to go Tom Brady or Josh Allen.
That's fair. I think Josh Allen. I think. Now, granted, they didn't win the game, but that game against the Chiefs in the playoffs, he was phenomenal. I mean, it was one of the best quarterback performances I've ever seen. And like I said, it was one of the best games I've ever seen. But Patrick Mahomes, yes, led his team 13 seconds on the field to kick the tying field goal, but it shouldn't have happened. Josh Allen literally tore apart the Chiefs' defense. It was just blown coverage on the Bills were playing way too conservative. They were like 13 seconds. There's no way 2 throws can get him in field goal range. And so, granted, awesome job by Patrick Mahomes. Not trying to take it away from him, but Josh Allen literally shredded their defense that drive to score with 13 seconds left.
Josh Allen literally looks so perfect in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm giving Josh Allen a little too much credit, but he's still a very good player. I saw him firsthand because he played the Falcons last year, and that was a very off game for him too. He threw 3 interceptions, very, very undecisive with the football, very rushed with the football as well. So I think that was a kind of an outlier of his season, but still, Josh Allen in that playoff game and throughout the playoffs creamed everybody. He literally tore apart the Patriots defense, tore apart the Chiefs defense, was pitch perfect. Every single throw.
Against
Bill Belichick. Wasn't even close to being intercepted. Yeah, against Bill Belichick too. That's hard to do. I mean, and he blew the Patriots out too. It wasn't even like
it wasn't even game. Close. Speaking of really good quarterbacks, week 3, Packers versus the Buccaneers. The two, at one point, there was arguments Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback of all time. Tom Brady's the best. It's obviously Tom Brady. But Aaron Rodgers, he's got to play with no Devontae Adams. It's going to be a tough game for him, but still, you've got two of the best quarterbacks that I've got to watch. Aaron Rodgers, he's up there top 5 for sure of who I've got to watch. I mean, I would throw Peyton Manning above him, obviously. I would, I don't know if, I think I would put Aaron Rodgers over Drew Brees, me personally. If Drew Brees had...
No, I definitely agree with you.
Drew
Brees was a pocket passer.
Yeah,
and he kind
Aaron
of just
Rodgers can
stats.
scramble. Like, he's more athletic, in my opinion, than Drew Brees was, which is why I give him the nod. But other than that, like, I'm trying to think of, like, maybe Brett Favre. I got to watch Brett Favre, who was obviously a very talented quarterback. But then I'm like, who else would I put in that conversation? Aaron Rodgers has got to be in the top 5. There's, like, nobody else I can think of that I got to watch. I'm not saying, because I obviously Joe Montana and all this, but I would definitely put Aaron Rodgers up there. So to be able to watch Aaron Rodgers go to Tampa and play Tom Brady, and what could be both of their last seasons.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a very, very fun game because they don't play against each other often.
Yeah.
But now Bucks are in NFC. I don't think we saw it last year. I don't think they played last year, did they? I'm not 100% sure, but Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady is the premier matchup, and I think Tom Brady won the last matchup. And I expect the Buccaneers to win that game again. I don't see... Aaron Rodgers is such a talented quarterback, but no receivers. Their defense didn't get better, too much better. And it's just going to be... It's going to be coming down to if Aaron Rodgers receivers, if he can get them open.
Catches and get open and stuff. That's going to go down to Matt LaFleur, though. I do like him as a coach. Now, granted, we haven't really got to see Matt LaFleur without Aaron Rodgers. So, like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's at the line. He's obviously going to position his receivers for success. So, like, you look at Josh McDaniels, you're like, that could be Tom Brady. But then he went and did it with Mac Jones. So it's like, oh, he's a good offensive coordinator. Andy Reid as well, coming up. They're like, is he really that good of a head coach? But then he goes and wins Super Bowls and goes to different teams and does it. So,
but he's at Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but in up there in the Eagles, he had different quarterbacks too. So it's like the fact that he was able to do that, you're like, oh, without a doubt, he's a good head coach. So I'm really curious to see Matt LaFleur without Aaron Rodgers in the future. I'm a little worried about Jordan Love. Obviously, it's looking like a wasted draft pick right now, but
I feel like that draft pick that the Packers picked, I think they had a plan for Jordan Love, and then they kind of forgot their plan. I mean, it's always tough when you pick a quarterback in the first round, especially when you have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, I think everyone knew that was a really dumb decision. Yeah. Because you still have some good receivers in that draft on the board, and you didn't go get your star quarterback and star receiver. Yeah. I mean, I get you already had Devontae Adams, but more up the better. I mean, that's what the Falcons have been doing the last few years. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, past 2 drafts, just to help out the offense.
Yeah.
And even when they had Julio Jones, they drafted Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, exactly. You always try to support your quarterback, and there's a lot of teams that do it well, but obviously the Packers, they haven't drafted a wide receiver in the first round in how long? It's been like 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't remember how long it's actually been. I feel like it's been forever.
It's probably been forever. In Week 17, we have a really, really big game against the LA teams playing against each other. The Rams play the Chargers January 1st, the new year, on Sunday Night Football. We're going to see Justin Herbert and Matthew Stafford light up LA.
I really hope the Chargers do good this season because I would love to see just a bunch of young quarterbacks in the playoffs. I would love to see maybe Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. I would like to see Derek Carr. I think he's a younger quarterback. Mac Jones. I'd love to see Justin Fields somehow get into the playoffs. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, I would love to see in that. But I think we got one more year. I don't think this is a playoff year for us, but we're heading in the right direction, so I'm happy with it. And then, who knows? The Titans have a really good roster, so whenever Ryan Tannehill leaves, they're setting Malik Willis up for success. Obviously, when you got Derrick Henry in the backfield, not too much pressure on your shoulders when you're just handing the ball off all game and can win doing that.
No, that's if you have a really good running back, a once in a generation running back, I should say, in Derrick Henry, I mean, it's gonna make your life a whole lot easier. And Derrick Henry, when he came back in a playoff game, he made it easier for Tannehill, but Tannehill sold the game for them. And now a lot of that stuff happened. They drafted Malik Willis. But the Rams and Chargers game, that's near the end of the season too, and one of the team's playoff hopes could be on the line. Yeah. And that just makes it even more entertaining because either Matt Stafford's going to fight to be in the playoffs again to try to go for a Super Bowl, or Justin Herbert's already got the record and they're just going to try to make the playoffs, confirm the playoffs for them.
So I got another game. This one's going to be kind of a sleeper game, but I've got the Cowboys at Packers for Week 10. And the reason why is because Mike McCarthy going back to coach against Green Bay. I think it's going to be a cool, interesting matchup. I think both teams are going to be really solid records at this point. I think the Packers, if they do what they've done in the past, they're going to be at Week 10. They should have 7, 8, 9 wins if they do what they normally do. Cowboys, they like to start off kind of hot. So, we could be potentially seeing these guys play for better playoff spots, even at Week 10.
Yeah, and Mike McCarthy's seen it firsthand. The Dallas Cowboys, he knows that team too. And Mike McCarthy, he's on the Cowboys now. And I think this is his first time seeing the Packers, facing the Packers.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
And that's just going to be so entertaining because in that matchup, the Packers always have something step up on the Cowboys, and they always lose that matchup. Example, one controversial one, the Dez Bryant catch.
Yeah.
And always the other one, in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers, sideline. He throws it on sideline, 40 yards, and gets them in field goal range to win the game right there. Such a crazy, crazy game. And it's always fun. And again, Aaron Rodgers should have a receiver by then. Or he's going to run with what they have. And that's going to be the factor as well. Again, this whole season, if the Packers don't give Aaron Rodgers or even that rookie receiver they got doesn't step up a little bit, they're going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can't do everything on his own, obviously.
Yeah, and the wide receiver they got in the second round, obviously in most drafts, any other draft, it probably would have been a third rounder. So that's a lot to put on a young guy's shoulder that kind of got overdrafted where he was at. But it's a different time now. Wide receivers are going to start going early because they want more money. It's going to be kind of like the running back position in the future, I think, where you have to be really good to get paid at the wide receiver position in the future, I think. Just who gets paid at the running back position? You either have a long career where you're signing little deals and stay for a long time, or you get lucky. I don't want to call it luck because they're talented, but Christian McCaffrey signs a big contract, gets injured. Zeke signs a contract, doesn't perform. Todd Gurley, for instance, signs a big contract, doesn't perform. I said CMC. There was one more I was thinking about. Derrick Henry, signing the big contract and then getting hurt this year. But then you got people like Leonard Fournette, who signed decent contract.
Because he was
a second back. Yeah, but now he's a second back. He's not taking the full load like Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara even. He got a decent payday, but now he's in trouble all the time. So, these running backs get these paydays, and it's not often they get it, but the guys that did get the payday are kind of ruining it for... Now, granted, they can't help injuries, but, what team's really going to pay a running back now when every time it's been done in the past, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and running backs are such a key part to the offense too, because you can't have your quarterback throwing 50 times a game. He's eventually gonna make a mistake. I mean, it's human. Everyone's human. I mean, every human makes mistakes, and if you're throwing the ball 55 times a game, a few weeks in a row even, and without any running game, it just puts more pressure on the quarterback, especially if they're a rookie quarterback or even second year or third year quarterback. They're just gonna feel that pressure, and that's why the running backs are very, very important. And you don't see, like you said, you don't see a lot of them getting paid either. Another game that the Green Bay Packers have, big one against the defending Super Bowl champs in the Los Angeles Rams. Near the end of the season as well, so we'll see what the records look like. But again, Aaron Rodgers versus Matthew Stafford in a prime NFC matchup that we could see again in the playoffs possibly.
Yeah, I like this matchup. Two veteran quarterbacks, really good teams in general, really good coaches. I mean, this is going to be a really good matchup. The Green Bay Packers weren't the best defensively last year, but they did kind of go defensive heavy in the draft. So, their defense is going to look different than it did last year. The Rams going to look very similar to they did last year. I think, they didn't really lose much. They lost Von Miller, who came late in the season, but they picked up Bobby Wagner.
Yeah. So, I mean,
they lost Robert Woods.
Yeah, but they might lose Odell Beckham,
but they got Allen Robinson. So, granted, they did lose some key pieces, but they picked up key pieces.
Exactly. And the thing is, they don't have any draft picks either.
I know,
which
they're
is
still
crazy.
Doing it.
Yeah, but in a few years, it's going to backfire on them because they don't have any draft picks. But this matchup is going to be so much fun to watch. I'm going to make a prediction here. I think Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, they're going to go for 200 yards, 250 yards.
In that game?
I think so.
Damn. I like it, though, because Cooper Kupp's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't put nothing past Cooper Kupp.
Watch him get injured. Before he even gets there. Oh, my God.
We're not going to be so bad.
Yeah, no, Cooper Kupp's amazing. But it's going to be interesting to see Cooper Kupp as well, if he can have kind of the same production level season as last year, or even if he dips a little bit.
I think he'll stay similar because, one, him and Matthew Stafford have a really good relationship. They hang out outside of football together. They practice together. They have a very good wide receiver quarterback connection. But really, if you take a look at Allen Robinson, he has not demanded a number one role. Mooney broke out last year. He was fine with it. He didn't require the ball.
Yeah, the Bears didn't know how to use them at all. And Matt Nagy reportedly was not limiting his playing time.
But that's good for the Rams because they don't need Allen Robinson to step up into the number one role. They just need him to be an impact player, and Cooper Kupp can. But the same thing is, he can be a number one receiver. So even if they're double teaming Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson's going to be one-on-one with someone. So it was a really good pickup. And I think it's either you double team Cooper or you double team Allen.
And that's what the defense is going to have to figure out.
Yep.
We'll see how that matchup goes. Really excited for that one, too. Really, really good matchup right there.
And then I've got the Broncos at Ravens week 13. It's going to be Russell Wilson against Lamar Jackson.
Big iffy matchup right there. And I don't even talk about that. It's just going to be fun to watch because the Ravens have a good defense. The Broncos have a good defense. They're going to try to figure out that if Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson, they could even light it up a lot. The running game, not just the passing game, the running game.
They're both going to be fighting for a playoff spot at this point. Week 13, 5 more weeks in the season at that point?
Yeah.
They're going to be fighting for a playoff spot or better seeding. So that's a big matchup.
Yeah, I'm so interested because the Seahawks, I don't think they play with the Ravens too much. So it's going to be interesting for Russell Wilson to play that Ravens defense.
Yeah.
And even sit down on the sideline and watch Lamar Jackson run all over his defense, possibly. Yeah. Another one right in there is Cincinnati Bengals against Baltimore Ravens. Ian's looking up some Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson, the stats when they're going head to head. They went head to head once, right? Or this is the first matchup.
I can't see it.
Game log. Oh, you. Game log up top. Oh, the 2022 started. Yeah. Oh, okay. But yeah, week 5, early in the season on Sunday Night Football, big division matchup. The Bengals and Joe Burrow play the Baltimore Ravens. We're gonna see what the Bengals are gonna be capable of against the good team in the Baltimore Ravens, and we're gonna see where their season leads from there. It's kind of like crossing roads, I guess. Directional move, crossing roads point for their 2 roads throughout the season. And whoever wins this one, I think they might be looking good.
Yeah, I honestly, I think the Ravens are going to have a bounce back here. I said that earlier. But the Bengals, they've only gotten better. They literally have only gotten better. I do think it's going to be very hard for them to replicate their success because, like I said, even though I'm not trying to take away anything from the Bengals, but the Ravens last year, very hurt. The Browns completely underperformed, but now they have Deshaun Watson. That's going to be a tougher matchup the 2 times they play. The Ravens are going to be healthy this year. And then the Steelers were underperforming because of Big Ben. Now they don't have Big Ben. They have Trubisky, which I think is going to be, even if I'm not saying Trubisky's a better quarterback than Big Ben, but Trubisky's going to have a better season than what Big Ben had last year. Or if not, Kenny Pickett gets thrown in, and even if they're not good, they're building something. So, even if the Steelers aren't great this year, next year they're going to be better.
They still have that pass rush. They still have that defense. They still have an elite pass rush in the defense there. I mean, it's just going to be so hard just to play them because of their defense, no matter what the offense brings. Yeah. Because how are you going to stop TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward?
But that's why I think the Bengals are going to have a tough time replicating their success. And I say that because they only did it this one season. The Ravens always go well head-to-head against Pittsburgh. They always go well held. It's always a good game against the Browns and the Ravens. We only seen it last year for the Bengals. So I got to see it again this year. I think we will see it again this year, but I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket.
This division, AFC North, I mean...
It's the second best division in football.
Yeah, possibly, and...
I can't think of a better one.
Not top of my head.
I would put the NFC West close if the Seahawks weren't rebuilding.
Yeah, I think NFC West.
NFC East...
I don't think it is.
Eagles and Giants. I mean, the Giants and Commanders. I got to give it to the AFC North. AFC South, Texans and Jaguars rebuilding. NFC South, you still got the Panthers that don't have a quarterback really. Yeah. They drafted one, but they don't know. The Falcons don't have a set in stone quarterback right now. So I got to give it to the NFC North or the AFC North. Sorry, because all 4 of them teams. They're competitive. They have really good head coaches. Obviously, one of them went to the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh Steelers made the playoffs last year. The Ravens almost did without their starting quarterback half the year. So,
yeah, and this division is going to be so difficult. This is why this game right here, early in the season, is going to be a really big game.
Important. Yeah.
Because having division records is very important if any of these teams want to win that division.
Yeah.
And they're going to be just crazy talented players.
So then I've got week 14. I've got the Buccaneers at the 49ers. Super good offense and defense in the Buccaneers. Obviously, you got the GOAT Tom Brady. You got Leonard Fournette coming back. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin all coming back. They just picked up Russell Gage. Defensively, they did lose their defensive coordinator. Right?
No, they got a new head coach.
The defensive coordinator bumped up to the head coach. Yeah. So
So they won't have the same defensive coordinator technically.
Yeah, it's going to be a different look. I mean, we don't know what this coach is going to do, but regardless, offensively, it all pretty much stayed the same. They still got Tom Brady. They still got Byron Leftwich, offensive coordinator. But they're playing against one of the best defenses in football. Solid coach, Kyle Shanahan. I think he's a good coach. Obviously, in the past, he's kind of struggled with keeping leads. But regardless, he gets to the point where they're up by a lot. If he can just fix that, and this is going to be an awesome matchup. Obviously, Tom Brady is from California. There was rumors he would get traded there. So regardless, it's going to be an awesome matchup. Two of the top playoff spot seating right here too, because the 49ers and Buccaneers are going. You could see Trey Lance start at this point. But it also could be Jimmy G, and then you got two former Patriot quarterbacks battling it out.
That's what's so interesting about that game. It's late in the season, so we're gonna see how Trey Lance is doing if he's starting. We're probably gonna start. So let's just say that.
I think you have to. You
have to start him, no matter what. But Trey Lance, how's he looking? How is he looking at this point? We're gonna know. We're gonna know everything. But is Trey Lance, is he going to make that second-year leap? They did sit him most of the season. He played a little bit in the first year as a rookie. But I'm very excited to see Tom Brady against that very, very solid defense and how they play Tom Brady.
Yeah. I
got a really good game in Week 8, halfway point of the season, in the Green Bay Packers and at the Buffalo Bills. Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen.
Two gunslingers. It's going to be slinging the ball all over the place.
Oh, man. I could see that game going to the 40s, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Bills' defense, we're also not sure what it's going to look like. We know that it's going to probably be good, but hopefully they can replicate the number one scoring defense they had last season. Adding Von Miller just helps.
They have a good pass rush. Yeah. They have a good secondary. Tre'Davious White, Von Miller. Like, what else can you say? You got Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis. You got a decent running back room. They just drafted a running back. I'm not too familiar with him, but I still know they got Devin Singletary.
Oh, yeah, they drafted Cook from Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I've seen some Georgia games last year.
Oh, now that I know his name, Georgia obviously were awesome last year. And Georgia's running backs typically do pretty good.
Yeah, Nick Chubb, for example.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley before his arthritis
with the Broncos.
Oh, man. And it's going to be fun to see James Cook because he's a downhill runner and he can bully people. Yeah. That's what I've seen in the Georgia games. But this matchup right here is really, really good. There's so many good matchups this year. Like, I think it's one of the best schedules we've seen in a while. And it's just going to be fun to watch.
Speaking of the Bills, I've got one more Bills game that I'm going to throw at you right now. Bills at Bengals, Week 17. Most likely fighting for a huge playoff spot. Most likely paying for seeding. Look at this. Look at the highlighted players for this. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Stephon Diggs.
But Josh Burrow.
Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, Gabriel Davis, T. Higgins. They don't have Tyler Boyd on here. I'm going to throw Tyler Boyd on there. That's just the offense. Then you got the defense where it's Von Miller, Tre'Davious White, Trey Hendrickson, Jesse Bates.
Oh, man. It's going to be what should have been the NFC Championship game from last year.
Oh, yeah.
And we would have seen it.
We're going to see what we would have seen.
Yeah, if the Bills won that game. And, oh man, that's just a fun match. Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen and the defenses. I mean, are the Bengals defense going to be good enough to stop Josh Allen and his potent offense? That's going to be one of the questions we see going into that game. And also, is Joe Burrow going to be able to get any time to throw the ball against that defense and the pass rush and the secondary? If Jamar Chase doesn't get locked down by the secondary, who knows?
Did we do Packers at Bills?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the last game I got for you is the Patriots at Raiders. Week 15, these guys are both going to be fighting for playoff spots, most likely. But you got Bill Belichick against his former offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, who is now the head coach of the LV Raiders.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels, first game against his former team. He's been with the Patriots forever and ever. And I think that is going to be so fun to watch Mac Jones against the Raiders, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. I think, hopefully, I think Mac Jones should be playing just as well as last year.
Yeah, I don't think he regresses. I think he gets slightly better, which would be good for the Patriots. Now I want us to look at the Falcon schedule. I've got the Jaguars schedule pulled up. We're going to talk about our notable games for this upcoming season. Now, granted, I have my prediction that we'll win 5 or 6 games this year. However, after the draft, I could see us winning 7 or 8. I know, everybody drafted players, but our linebacker room, our defensive coordinator is a linebacker coach. So the fact that we just picked up 2 young linebackers has me ecstatic. We got Trayvon Walker, and there's been clips of him in rookie training camp, and he looks like a freak. I mean, he's tall, athletic. He's got a wingspan, going up to the quarterback. It's really cool to watch. We might do some videos of us watching some training camp highlights from some of the players that we got.
We'll probably go to training camp anyway. But
we might, yeah. We're going to try to see what we can do for that. But obviously, NFL preseason, the Jaguars kick off playing the Las Vegas Raiders at the Hall of Fame game. I think we've already talked about this on the podcast before, but congratulations to Tony Baselli on making it to the Hall of Fame. First ever Jaguars player to make the Hall of Fame.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But granted, we haven't been a franchise for that long,
Yeah.
so it's 20 years. It took him a long time to get in, but it's super hard for an offensive lineman to get in the Hall of Fame because obviously when you got quarterbacks that led teams to Super Bowls, and it's just hard for an offensive lineman. You really have to be dominant to be an offensive lineman and make it into the Hall of Fame. But I'm going to start off with week 1. I think this is a super cool matchup. It's going to be Jaguars against the Washington Commanders. I think the Jaguars actually have a chance to win.
That's a really good matchup because you don't know how the Commanders' defense is going to play. I mean, they were predicted to be a good defense this year, top 15 defense, and they literally couldn't stop anybody. And it's just going to be a really good matchup and good test for Trevor Lawrence in the second year. Not the best defense, reasonable game that he can start off the season on.
It's a good game for him to try to establish himself as last season was a fluke. You have to prove that. And this is a really good game to get some confidence to go into week 2. Week 2, big division game against the Colts. This is a game we're going to.
Yep.
He wants to see Matt Ryan. I want to see Trevor Lawrence. But this is another big game for Trevor to show he can do it. The Jaguars have won at home against the Colts since 2014. You got to keep the streak.
Matt Ryan's undefeated against the Jaguars as well.
So that is, but the Jaguars have to, and I really I was just talking about this earlier, the linebackers we picked up. Our team is built to stop the run. So that means the Washington Commanders, Carson Wentz, it's going to be up to him. He's going to have to blow up our secondary, and I don't see that happening. But Trevor Lawrence can't make mistakes. He's got to be a game manager in that game. I don't think he's got to light up the scoreboard, but he's got to be a game manager. The Colts, if we can stop Jonathan Taylor, we have to force Matt Ryan to throw the ball because the receivers just aren't there yet. But I've said this a lot about Matt Ryan. He is really good at making wide receivers that would be 4th or 5th on depth charts look like 1s and 2s. I mean,
they got a rookie receiver in Alec Pierce as well. That could be looking good as well.
They still got damn, what's that guy's name?
They got Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman. He's a
freak.
He's a stud. I hate having to play him twice a year, but
and Jonathan Taylor.
So, like I said, I think the Jaguars are going to split with the Colts this year, but the Colts definitely have the weapons, the ammo, the quarterback, the offensive line, the defense, the coach. They have it to where they won't stick. They could win both games. So that's a big matchup for the Colts, though, because they can't let up. That's what happened last year. They let up against the Jaguars. They should have won in. I really think they went into that game thinking it was going to be an easy win. We don't have to try. And then the Jaguars just shocked them. So as long as the Colts don't do that this time, which I don't think so.
Because I think Matt Ryan's a mile better than Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is a little bit more athletic, but the mistakes he makes is just like... And, we watched his highlights, and honestly, Carson Wentz makes some good throws. It's just the mistakes he makes.
Decision-making, accuracy, everything.
You're up by 7 or even 14, and you're Carson Wentz, and all you got to do is get a couple first downs, but instead he's about to get sacked, so he just throws it and gives it a pick six, and then the game's flipped. Not only did the other team score for free, you flip the momentum. So I don't think Matt Ryan's going to do that, though. He's got a really good offensive line, really good running game, and he's got something he didn't have in Atlanta. He's got a good defense, a perfect offensive line, and the best running back in football right now in Jonathan Taylor. So
everything's at his disposal.
Yeah, sky's the limit. He's a veteran. He knows how to game manage when he needs to. He can make a big time throw if he has to. So, like I said, that's going to be a tough matchup for the Jags, but I would love to see the Jaguars win this game. I'm not going to go over who I think is going to win or lose, but then you got the Jaguars at Chargers. I think the Chargers are too good, yeah. But it's going to be so fun to watch two young quarterbacks sling it out with each other. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. Really awesome matchup. Then you got the Jaguars at the Eagles. The Eagles are going to try to be a playoff team this year.
We'll probably go to a couple games or two.
Yeah, we'll try to go to as many.
We could even get later seats and we'll be fine.
Jaguars, Eagles, again,
might be fun.
Young quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence. That's going to be an awesome matchup. I'm really excited because I didn't mention this earlier. Travis Etienne and James Robinson in the backfield. And Snoop Connor. We just drafted a guy. So, we have a trio, but there's a chance James Robinson isn't ready for week 1. So
I'm excited to see Travis Etienne. I wish I could have saw him last year, but
there's a connection there between him and Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be awesome to watch. So yeah, Eagles, Jaguars. That's two young quarterbacks going at it. Then you got the Texans and Jaguars. Two young quarterbacks again, most likely with Davis Mills and Trevor Lawrence.
Jaguars a very good chance of winning that game.
But if you think about it, division games can always go either way.
Yep.
Regardless of what's happening. Division games are always tough games. So taking out the division game, the Jaguars have a chance, in my opinion, to beat the Commanders. They also have a chance to beat the Eagles. And they also have a chance to beat the Texans. I left out the Colts game.
You could start 3-2.
Yeah, there's a very good chance to start 3-2, 4-1. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I have to see it. As a Jaguars fan, I have to see it before I'm throwing out 4-1. Texans, then you play the Colts again. 2 early Colts games.
Yeah.
But you get them out the way, you have a chance to go on a run in the last weeks, and I'll show you why.
Even if you split those two, split the Colts.
Yeah, split the Colts. Fine. You're 5-2.
Yeah.
Then the Giants. That's a
winnable game.
That's a winnable game. Then you play the Broncos. That's going to be a tough one.
Broncos right.
But it's in London. The Jaguars play in London a lot. It's like another home game. I mean, granted, it is a home game for them, but that's their they got their first win in 23 games, I think, in London last year. It's a big place for them to play. I'm gonna say a loss, but you got a chance to be 5-3. Then the Raiders, probably another loss, 5-4.
Okay.
Then the Chiefs, probably 5-5.
That might be a sleeper game right here, Jaguars Ravens, because
the Jaguars they're built to stop the run,
and all they do is run.
Exactly.
So that could go either way there. I mean, that's just one of the games Jaguars could surprise people.
Best case scenario, 6-4.
Oh, we're going to that game. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson.
6-4, best case scenario. The Lions.
Yeah, you
got number 1 overall pick, number 2 overall pick. You're going to see who was the correct option in this game. But really, the Lions are still rebuilding. The Jaguars are technically in a rebuild still, but you're kind of in year 2. Like Doug Peterson, even though it is a rebuild, it's a really nice rebuild for him because Urban Meyer, he's the one that gutted the roster, picked up his franchise quarterback. Doug Peterson this year didn't have to get a franchise quarterback and go through the rookie struggles. He's got a rookie that went through the struggles already. So, like, I really think they can win this game, and if they can, 7-4. The Titans, that's going to be a tough one.
I think they might.
If you can split it.
If you can split it.
If you can split it, you're looking at 7-6. I'll give them the one later. Then you play the Cowboys at home. That's going to be a tough one. 7-7. Then the Jets.
You have very reasonable chance. Trevor Lawrence versus Dak Wilson.
You can beat the Jets. 8-7. Texans.
Again,
you can beat the Texans.
9-7.
9-7, and then the Titans, Jags. If you split, you're 10-7.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm biased. I am.
Both of us gonna be biased against their team, so.
But you have a strong chance to make the playoffs.
Very strong chance.
Like it is a very tough schedule. Like I gave them some wins that like Washington Commanders isn't a guarantee. Splitting with the Colts is not guaranteed.
Splitting with the Titans aren't guaranteed either.
Yeah, splitting with the Titans isn't guaranteed.
The most likely is the Texans going 2-0 against Texans.
Beating the Ravens, not very likely, but could happen. So like you could also not go 10-7.
They could surprise people in that 3-game stretch. Broncos, Raiders, Jaguars. They could win one of those games.
Could. You got 2 home games. You're not traveling.
Yeah.
Then you play the Chiefs, and I mean, obviously that's going to be a tough one because you're built to stop the run. You're not built to stop the pass. So that's going to be a tough one. But they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. Who knows what the Chiefs are going to look like? I mean, you don't have to worry about the top going off of you. But I mean, you have a chance to go anywhere between 10 wins and 7 wins, in my opinion. And like, obviously, to me, we could win. We could lose every game this upcoming year. And as long as we look like a football team, as long as we don't have our head coach kicking players, going to the bar after losses, as long as the team looks like they're trying on the field and like we get close games, like similar to the Lions last year, they didn't win a lot of games last year. They were close games. Like some of their losses, I felt bad for them.
The Ravens one?
Yeah, I know. Like, so as long as that's what our games look like next year, I'll be happy. Because I think Doug Peterson can work off that. And like I said, there's a lot of no names on this Jaguars team. Like, granted, Marvin Jones, good. Laquan Treadwell, who knows him? Like, he's our second wide receiver right now. Or third, actually, considering Zay Jones just came by. Who's Zay Jones, you know? Like, we have a lot of people that people don't know. James Robinson, undrafted rookie. I really think the Jaguars have potential to do good things this year, but obviously, I don't know.
Defense doesn't have.
We're just built to stop the run, and as long as we play running teams, which Colts and Titans are going to be running teams when you got Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry. We just have a very run-happy team. Even the Texans are kind of run-happy. So, like, the fact that we're building to stop our division is smart, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think the Jaguars have a really good chance of winning a lot of games this year. Like, they honestly have a very good opportunity to do that. Going over to the Falcon schedule now. The very first week of the season, we played the New Orleans Saints. And always, especially I've seen the NFC South, these division games are always so close and so fun to watch. I see us splitting with the Saints this year, but I'm going to give us a win beginning of the season. Arthur Smith, Terry Fontenot's their second year back, and with Marcus Mariota potentially starting, and a whole new defense with whole new names, it's not gonna look anything like last year. I think we can beat the Saints in week 1. We played defending Super Bowl champs in week 2. I think that's gonna be a rough one for us. I hopefully can keep it competitive. The only way you can do that is if Marcus Mariota plays well, given that he's starting. So I think we go 1-1 there. Third game, Falcons Seahawks in Seattle. I mean, I know it's in Seattle, but that's a very winnable game. Seahawks are rebuilding. Drew Lock or Geno Smith's going to be starting. I don't think they're going to carry him and carry that team.
And your secondary is good.
Yeah, our secondary can be really, really good too. So I see us going 2-1 in the first 3 weeks. Next up, we have the Browns and Falcons game. Depending on what happens with Deshaun Watson, who knows. Also, it's going to be a very interesting matchup because this is the team Deshaun Watson could have gone to if he didn't want the money. Because we all know he took the Browns for money. He went to the Browns for money.
Yeah.
But it'd be a very interesting matchup, though.
He got lucky that it was a competitive team that gave him all the money.
Yeah.
Because he was following the money for sure, but at the same time, he got lucky. And one of those teams just happened to be a super stacked roster that needed a quarterback. That's rare.
And we're gonna see early in the season how the Browns are looking, and I think we might lose this game, but I think it's gonna be close. So I think we're 2-2 right now. Then we have played the Buccaneers. I'd say we go 2-3 there. We're gonna lose the Bucs first in Tampa Bay. And then we played 49ers. Definitely another tough one. I think we're gonna lose that one at 2-4. Then we played the Bengals. Possibly another loss there. All these depend on also Marcus Mariota, his play style. So I see another loss here, 2-5. And then we play the Panthers October 30th. I see that as a win. They still don't know their quarterback situation. They have a decent defense, but if you can't figure out your offense, anything can happen.
You know what? If you're 2-5 at this point, the Panthers might try to start Desmond Ritter.
The Falcons might
try
to start Desmond
2-5 against a division. Yeah, and then you guys could definitely, but you guys can definitely beat Sam Darnold too, or Cam Newton, whoever they want to start.
Yeah, and who knows? I could even see us being the 49ers or Bengals.
Wait, no, Cam Newton's not on the Panthers. Sorry, PJ Walker is.
I could even see the 49ers or Bengals. We win one of those games surprisingly.
So let's just say you're 3-5 though.
All right, or 3-4 now.
3-4. Yeah. Sorry.
Panthers, I think we can win that first game. So 4-4. I think we lose against the Chargers next week. I think their offense is just too powerful. I think we're gonna let up there. So 4-5 right there.
3.
And then or no, because of the one wins because we're at 4-4.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you're gonna give you
4-5 right there. But the Chargers lost. And then we play Panthers again on Thursday Night Football. I just think we can go beat Panthers twice.
That's gonna be a good one if it's Thursday Night Football. Yeah, you're gonna go on a short week, but you're playing a tough team in the Chargers. It's gonna build you up for this Panthers team, who's not gonna be very good. But regardless, you're playing Sam Darnold or Desmond Ritter again, and you have a good secondary. I 100% believe you guys can duo the
Panthers. Yeah, and our defensive line is really good. So no matter if Christian McCaffrey's healthy or not, a lot of games, even when Christian McCaffrey's healthy, he's never really destroyed the Falcons because we've always contained him. And I just expect to see more of that. So I'm saying if we're gonna win that game 5-5, we go against the Bears. I definitely see us win that game. Their defense isn't great as it once were. They Justin Fields in the second year.
Lost Allen Robinson.
Yeah, they lost a lot of people. Justin Fields in the second year. I see us winning that by 2 scores. So 6-5 right there. And then we play the Commanders. Another very winnable game. Because Carson Wentz, you don't know how he's going to be. You don't know how the defense is going to look. I think that's a very reasonable chance we win that game. So, what did I say, 6-5 or 7-5 now?
No, you're 6-5.
Okay, 6-5 right there. And then we play the Steelers. Their defense is really good, but at the same time, their offense, Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett, who's going to be there at that point in time.
And it's at home.
And this is going to be a toss-up right here. And I see us winning that game. against the Steelers. I really think that our defense, if they look good, if they can hold up throughout the season, I think they can stop any quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky or Kenny Pickett. And also the offense, if Marcus Mariota is playing really well, I mean, who knows? And then we have the Saints, and I think that one we're going to lose the second game. Just always tough in those division games. So I see us losing that one. And then our last 3 games, we played the Ravens, the Cardinals, and the Buccaneers.
3 tough games.
So 3 tough games. I can see us winning 1 out of 3. And I think most likely that might be the Cardinals, just because they're late season slumps.
Yeah.
The only
and
way
you don't know, Kyler Murray might not be playing.
Yeah, who knows? He could be sitting. And also the Ravens. Who knows what they're going to look like at the end of the season if they're going to be playing for something. If we can stop Lamar Jackson. I mean,
actually, that makes sense with the last game too, because if Tampa Bay's already locked the 2 seed or something,
they put their back.
They might put their back,
and that might be just a free dub
so
right there.
There's a chance you win 2 games.
Yeah,
in those last 3.
So right, I think we're going to win 9. So I think we're at 9 or 10 wins right there. Same thing as the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I see us. We don't have the toughest schedule, but we have really tough opponents that we're going against. We're going against the AFC North, going against the NFC West a little bit, and yeah, this is gonna be tough.
The strength of schedule is a joke. Like, I mean, they had us as having like the 25th easiest schedule because obviously the Broncos didn't do too hot last year. They just revamped their whole team, so our strength of schedule is way harder than it looks. Now, granted, we do play the Jets and the Lions.
Yeah.
That's not terrible, but the Lions are going to be better than they were last year. I think Zach Wilson's going to be better than he was last year. So strength of schedule is like a joke. I hate looking at it because, like I said, it says we have like the 25th easiest schedule, basically.
Yeah, it says we have like the 1 to hardest schedules.
I could see it because the Bears are always kind of average. The Panthers were kind of average. I mean, Steelers were better than average. Saints were
average,
a little better than average because they almost made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Cardinals made the playoffs. Buccaneers made the playoffs. Ravens almost made the playoffs. Steelers made the playoffs. 49ers made the playoffs. Bengals made the playoffs. Seahawks are average. Browns should have made the playoffs. Jets, that's preseason game. Saints almost, like, your schedule actually is pretty tough.
But yeah, I mean, let us know what your guys is if you guys are watching this on YouTube after it comes out. Let us know what your team's record is gonna be. We're very interested to see what you guys think your team's record is gonna look like at the end of the season. It's just gonna be such a fun season. We're only a couple months away from preseason. I think we might even go preseason game.
I was looking at some Jaguar prices, dude. For good seats, it's like $150.
I know.
Why am I spending that much on a preseason game?
I don't want to spend that much on a preseason game.
But like upper decks, like $80, and I can watch it better on TV. So.
Yeah.
Well,
even at the very top, Jaguar Stadium, I've been on. I used to go like every game. But at the very top, you can see everything right in the middle, and they're like $20 completer seats.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys for watching. Ian, do you have anything else you'd like to talk about before we?
No, I'm just gonna go see what if there's any updates or anything.
All right. We do want to thank you guys for watching the podcast as always. We do go live every Wednesday and Sunday. Schedule may change in the future. We'll obviously update you guys if that changes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support on TikTok, on Twitter, on all our videos. We've been uploading every single day, so you guys won't miss any entertainment from us. We're uploading every single day on Mego videos, unboxing videos, train card pack openings, and reaction videos. You guys are loving the reaction videos, so thank you for the support on the reaction videos and all the videos in general. And I think we have a lot of exciting things coming up just because we're getting closer to the start of the NFL season. We're going to see a lot of updates on training camp, stuff like that. So definitely going to be an exciting time. We have lots of things planned as well, so just stay tuned as well. And make sure you guys tell your friends if they love football. Send them to PI Podcasts. We love talking about football and everything NFL. Yeah, Ian, you have any updates?
So the Chiefs are the first team in NFL history to start the season again with 8 straight games against teams that had a winning record in the previous years. They go week 1 against the Cardinals, week 2 against the Chargers, week 3 against the Colts, week 4 against the Buccaneers, week 5 against the Raiders, week 6 against the Bills, week 7 against the 49ers, and then they have a bye week 8, but then they play the Titans week 9.
That's a very tough schedule. And one other thing I'd like to note, a lot of teams this year have week 14 byes. So they're playing 13 straight weeks without a bye. That's going to wear down a lot of teams, I think, because 13 games is never easy. Usually, a lot of teams have byes within the middle of the season, like 8 and 9, or even 7. Some teams have early byes, but week 14 byes, that's tough. And it also it's kind of a good thing, not for players, but in a sense of reporters and stuff like that, in a sense, because at week 14 you'll know how teams looking by then.
Yeah. Let's see. Jerry Jeudy was released from jail, and there was not probable cause to believe that there was the threat or use of any physical force against the victim. So hopefully we'll see him play week 1. We don't know.
Probably.
I know the NFL can be like strict on some stuff, not strict on others, so we'll see. But the huge news that we didn't really mention, Jarvis Landry signing with the Saints. So, dude, I don't know what the actual pay was, like how big the contract was, but the Saints now have Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, and Michael Thomas. So their wide receiver room is good. They got Alvin Kamara. They have a pretty decent defense. But Jameis Winston's the one throwing the ball. So he's literally got a golden ticket in front of him.
And Michael Thomas is really good at slant. So.
But that's why they got Jarvis.
That's why they got Jarvis Landry. He's a good possession
Chris
receiver.
Olave. That's going to be, I'm telling you, that wide receiver room is good. But who knows how good Michael Thomas is going to be after his injury.
Who knows how productive Jarvis Landry is going to be, too. I mean,
yeah,
he wasn't
here's the
that
thing,
productive last season either.
Jameis Winston, he's got the stats, but obviously he's also got the interception, so he's got to fix that. They still got Marquise Callaway.
If you guys haven't been in Motel, I hate the Ants.
Yeah, he's a big big Saints fan. He loves the Saints.
Yeah. But we should actually make a trip to New Orleans.
Why?
So I could wear my Falcons jersey in front of them.
Other than that, guys, I think that is kind of it. There wasn't much that happened in the world today. But I will say, Luka Doncic, just beat the Suns.
Oh my damn! Wow.
I know we don't talk basketball on here, but Luka basically ended Chris Paul's career, humiliated Devin Booker, and made the Suns look stupid for selecting DeAndre Ayton. 2 picks ahead of him. The Mavs are in the West Finals.
One thing I'd like to note as well before we end this stream, our thoughts and prayers are with the people in Buffalo. Yeah. Definitely just horrible what happened. I've seen some comments underneath it. I don't get too into it, but do you guys know the gun laws and stuff like that? Things like that, just crazy how easy it is to get something. Someone I know that's in my related family, they're younger than me and they already have a gun. Just something to point out. But our thoughts and prayers are with the families and family members of every single person who did die today. It's always horrifying to see people losing their life over something stupid, and apparently it was racially motivated, which is stupid in itself. But it also gives you this kind of scares people too, because these people were just in a grocery store. They were doing their usual shopping, like they were just getting food for a family, or they were getting something they needed for their house. In a grocery store, it wasn't even a bad area either. It was just a grocery store, and to see people lose their lives in a grocery store just because someone didn't like the color of someone's skin or something like that, it's just horrible. So yeah, again, we want to give our thoughts and prayers to the Bills, Bills and their team as well. I know they're hurting as well, but also to everyone who lost their lives today and in Buffalo. So thank you guys again for watching the stream. Make sure you leave a like, hit the bell so you know when we go live. Ian, anything?
No, go Jags. What's the Falcons thing?
Rise up.
Rise up. Duval. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next podcast episode. Remember, 10 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday night. We'll come at you with a banger. Then we've also got daily uploads for the next every day, because we're going to be doing it every single day. We've got tons of saved videos already. We've got a ton more to edit. We've got a ton more to make. So we're going to try to do a variety of card packs and reactions, and maybe do some schedule videos and stuff. But yeah, stay tuned. Those will be released every day at 6 p.m. Eastern. TikTok. 4 p.m. Eastern. We're doing YouTube Shorts every day at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we're gonna get all this scheduled up. Gonna work as hard as we can to get it all done. Did you show them the business cards?
No, we haven't. We got our official business cards in a couple days ago. This is our schedule. We're looking to change for the future, so definitely in the future you will see this schedule. But if I can show it, yeah, we have the little football background in PI Podcast. You guys can scan the QR code if you have a phone on you right now. You could probably do it from here. I'm not sure. But yeah, it says Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at 10 p.m. But probably going to be changing to that eventually. So you guys will be updated when we do that. Might not be for a little bit, but we'll definitely keep you guys updated, and just in case.
Yep, and we're going to be giving these around town. Obviously, we got like 500 of them, so we got a lot of work to do, a lot of handing out to do. Also, we are working with a new, we're trying to get new merch, so we'll keep you updated on that as well. We're also in the works on a website. We'll also keep you guys updated on that. So big things happening. Big thing is, we'll let you know when it's launched, but we're going to be doing card breaks. We're going to be selling cards. We're going to be selling merch. All these things are basically the plan for PI. We're obviously always going to be doing the PI podcast, but we're trying to branch out so we can earn some money to eventually be able to do it full time, and also do giveaways and all that good stuff. So we appreciate every time you guys watch. We appreciate when you tell your friends about us. We like the rate we're growing. Obviously, we want to grow faster, but we're happy with where we're at and where we're going. So, yeah, just keep telling your friends about us.
Yeah.
Share the link. Costs nothing to do that. But if you want to donate $100, PayPal link is in the link tree. We only accept hundreds.
This guy's a wise guy.
Yeah. No, just kidding. But for real, though, right now you can buy merch from the link tree, though.
Got some really cool looking designs on our shirts, and even stickers, mugs, even.
Yeah, we're gonna
really cool.
So basically, with the merch, we're gonna look into someone else doing the merch in the future. But for now, like, we are still selling it from where we're at. Would be cool for you to buy and then say you were the first and maybe the last person to buy something from that site.
Yeah, this would be limited merch right here on the first in the merch section, because I don't think anyone's gonna have that after a little bit.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be similar though, but the new shirts are who we're working with. It's going to have a logo here, and then it's going to have a big logo on the back. So, that's going to be cool. As of right now, they just have the chest logo, but now we have mugs. We're not going to have mugs in the future. Might do blankets in the future, but obviously we're still working on it.
Thank you guys again for all the support, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PIPodcast and on Twitter at PIPodcasters. Until next time.